Hi everyone, welcome to another video. I'm here at H&H Auctions at Pavillion Gardens in Buxton. Absolutely beautiful setting for the cars. You can see some of the cars behind me, and then there's more in that building that you can see behind me as well. Beautiful architecture, it's in a public gardens, really lovely setting. It's been a long drive here, cross country through the Peak District, but very nice. A ton of cars, loads of vintage stuff, obviously all the usual suspects here, classics, modern classics, all kinds of stuff. So this could well be two videos again because there are so many and I'm keen to show as many as I can. So this will be the first part now. For this first video of the auction, I'm going to be concentrating on the cars inside, in here mostly. A lot of classics, a lot of the higher end stuff. Some of the slightly cheaper and more modern stuff is outside. Having said that, there's still a lot of lovely stuff outside, particularly in the marquees they've got outside. But just showing you quickly around here, here's the vintage stuff in the background. Some really stunning cars here actually. And in particular, because a lot of the cars here are from the Loch Lomond Collection, which is obviously having a clear out. I don't really know the background there, but they specialised in collecting the best quality 50s, 60s and 70s cars that there were. So consequently, some of those in the auction are just of outstanding quality. Really interesting to see. So we'll get started with this E-Type. This is one that's from the Loch Lomond Collection. It's 1970, 4.2 coupe obviously, and it just looks in stunning condition. It was in long-term storage between 1982 and 2008. When H&H actually auctioned it, and it required full restoration at that point. Obviously now fully restored over 3 years. I mean, you look at this condition, you can see it's pretty much perfect condition, I'd say. I mean, it's immaculate. Full bodywork restoration, new panels, obviously new paintwork, the interior, rear suspension, subframe overhaul, differential refresh, engine overhaul, new bearings, pistons, timing change, the list goes on and on. I mean, this is really an exquisite example. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox. It's also got an uprated braking system, vented discs, 6 discs and 6-pot calipers. And as you can see, interior as well is just in fantastic condition. This really is a really great example. This was purchased into the Loch Lomond Collection in 2020 for £79,000. It's now estimated at £60,000 to £70,000, which for the quality of this car seems like pretty good value actually to me. Now onto one of my favourite cars at the auction. This is a 1960 Maserati 3500 GT. Really, really beautiful car. Absolutely love this design. This is obviously a front engine, rear wheel drive. A Grand Tourer, I suppose you'd call it. Beautiful colour. And that tan leather interior as well. This had a straight 6 engine. 217 horsepower on triple Weber carbs. So I think this is a later one that has the 5-speed ZF manual gearbox. Acquired by the vendor in 2019. And then it's had a full restoration of chassis, the bodywork, aluminium bodywork on this, the running gear, etc. So it's had a huge amount done to it and it looks spectacular. Paintwork's perfect, the interior is like a new car and really, really top quality all round again. This is guided at £140,000 to £160,000, so not a cheap car. Onto something a little more modern, 1988 Porsche 911 obviously, a Carrera 3.2 Sport. Obviously these were the 3.2 flat 6, I think around 230 horsepower at this time, 5-speed manual. Doesn't sound a lot of power, but they were so much lighter back in this era. This is actually the era of Porsche that I would buy. I think they look great, so much smaller. The modern ones are just enormous and too big in my humble opinion. These could still go to 60 in 5.3 seconds, so fairly decent. Looks in great condition. I think this is Venetian blue, it's called, with a marine blue interior. Fairly unusual colour, at least I don't see many of them. And I think it looks great in this colour. had the sport pack from new, and it's only had 2 owners since new and 38,000 miles. Full stamped service book, etc. It looks top notch. I definitely love this Porsche, that's for sure. It's estimated at 70 to 80,000 pounds. And onto a very similar era car. This is a 1989 Lotus Esprit Turbo, a 40th anniversary edition. So this is the X180 platform, so called. And this 40th anniversary was limited to 88 examples worldwide, 40 of which went to the UK, obviously in pearlescent white here. And this had the 2.2 litre engine, of course, 4-cylinder, 5-speed box. And a very similar 0 to 60 time of that Porsche, in fact, 5.4 seconds to 60. Obviously mid-engine Lotus compared with the rear-engined 911 next to it. Looks in great condition. It's not perfect. There's definitely some room for improvement, some chips and markings on the paintwork. Just general wear and tear, nothing concerning, I don't think. It's been owned since 2018 and had quite a lot done to it. Cam belt change, updated cooling systems, new brakes, etc. Loads of invoices with it. The interior looks fairly good. I do see a lot of these looking very, very bad, I have to say, this era Lotus. This one looks pretty good. I'm not sure if it's just the colour or whether it's a little kind of dirty, stained. Nothing bad, but perhaps could do with a deep clean. Maybe it's just the colour on my eyes. I mean, it looks very good compared with most Esprits I see. And this is guided at 20 to 30,000 pounds, a big range in that guide price. So we're going more modern now. This is a 2011 Mercedes-Benz SL350. I'm not sure if there's an issue here with the roof. It seems to be part way through closing the roof. Really unusual paintwork, this. You don't see many SLs in this colour, or I don't. It was a Designo option, and those paint options are usually very expensive with Mercedes. Mauritius Blue it's called, grey leather interior. Looks in really, really good condition, this. Loads of options on it. It's got the panoramic roof, air scarf, it's got those 19-inch alloys. Quite a few invoices, yeah, well serviced I think, and guided at 13 to 15,000 pounds. And onto this Bentley Continental GT 2007. Obviously this is the twin turbocharged W12 6-litre engine, 6-speed ZF, 550 odd horsepower these. And I love the colour of this, absolutely love it. Breeze metallic and this magnolia leather interior with maple veneers. Really excellent example, this. I've seen so many from these mid-2000s Continentals. Unfortunately, a lot of them are just not well maintained, and interiors in particular look terrible. This one is lovely. Main dealer serviced up to 2019 and then by a specialist after that. It's only covered 26,000 miles with loads of history, guided at 20 to 25,000 pounds. And here's another car from the Loch Lomond Collection, and a really excellent example of a Mark II Jaguar 1961 with the 3.8 engine here, you can see. This is top notch. Manual. This interior is absolutely beautiful. It's got loads of maintenance records. 10 grand spent on it in the last few years, I think. And it was bought into the Loch Lomond Collection in 2023 for £69,000. Is now guided at 40 to 50,000 pounds. So could represent relatively good value. Here's a 1956 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. This again looks another fantastic condition car. It's had £30,000 spent on it in 2010 with the Rolls-Royce specialist, and then another £16,000 spent on it between 2014 and 2015. So I guess for that money it should look fairly good. I mean, obviously signs of wear in the back, but This is a 1956 car. Yeah, looks really good, just minor signs of wear everywhere. It's guided at 20 to 24,000 pounds, so these were a 4.9 litre, I think, straight six engine, 4-speed auto. Just a massive car and a great era for looks, I always think. Enormous bonnet. Two-tone paintwork looks fantastic. And all the silver work, the bright work looks really good as well. Yeah, lovely looking car.
Sorry, mate.
And on to a slightly later Rolls-Royce next to it, Silver Shadow 2, 1979, in a very 70s colour, I would suggest. Again, looks great with that two-tone paintwork. And another one that looks in great condition, considering the ones that have fallen into, I suppose, neglect of this type of era Rolls-Royce. This looks pretty good. These were by now the classic 6.75 litre V8 and the GM sourced auto box in these. This one has only done 32,000 miles from new. You can see excellent condition there in the back. 15 service stamps as well, and again the front looks excellent. It's got some recent invoices, no huge amount of bills or work I don't think, but it is very low mileage and use obviously. Guided at 18 to 22,000 pounds. And on to the next E-Type, a 1968, 4.2 coupe again. Some very minor paintwork issues, still looks in excellent overall condition. Sounds like it's had a full restoration that was finished, fully restored in 2001. Full engine haul just after that, and then only done 4,000 miles over the last 24 years, with a total of about 56,000 miles, so very low usage. Again, looks in great condition, but I'd perhaps rather one myself that had been used a little bit more. Guided at 45 to 55,000 pounds. And on to one of the stars of the show, definitely, I think, this Chevrolet Corvette. This is a C1 generation, so 1961. Striking paintwork and looking in fantastic condition. So this is obviously a US car that's come over to the UK in 2008. It really is in exceptionally good condition. It's had a comprehensive restoration and bills totalling £86,000 since arriving in the UK in 2008. For example, it's had the engine out and fully detailed, lots of engine work. It's a full restoration as well. I mean, it just looks absolutely fantastic. I love this. V8 engine in here, I'm not exactly sure what spec this was. A very of the era interior here. Lovely, lovely looking car. And here's the first of a couple of 190 SLs. It wouldn't be a classic auction without a 190 SL. This one's a 1961. It's a German market car that then spent about 40 years in North America. This looks in pretty good condition, but perhaps not perfect, some marks here and there. It's been in the current ownership since 2016. It's had various work done, converted to run on unleaded, on Weber carbs. And you can see some of these are in really almost perfect condition. This one's just well used and well loved. But it's priced really, I think, appropriately for once. 40 to 50,000 pounds is the guide price, which seems about right. I mean, there's nothing particularly wrong with this car, but it's not in concours condition, obviously. These were the 4-cylinder 1900cc engine in these, of course. Dash looks lovely. Wear on the seats. And a bit of a rip here, but you know, this is really minor in the scheme of things for a 1961 car. Easily repaired, that. Yeah, nice car, keenly guided. I expect that'll sell for that money. Yeah, you can see some minor paintwork issues here, but nothing that would concern me. I do love this interior, one of my favourite looking interiors. So while we're doing the 190 SLs, we'll move on to the other one that's here. So we'll scoot past that Maserati whilst I just have another look at it. And onto the other 190 SL. So this one is obviously a right-hand drive. It's been in the current ownership since 2001. Had a full engine overhaul. It's got an unleaded cylinder head. As I say, 65,000 miles, which is reasonable. And again, some minor paintwork issues here. As I said, the 1.9 engine, 4-speed manual in these. So I'd say this one looks slightly better, obviously right-hand drive as well, so more desirable in that respect. I'm not sure there's a huge amount to choose between them, but this one is guided quite a lot more at 60 to 80,000 pounds. Perhaps a bit less wear on the seats, and the paintwork's a bit better, and it's right-hand drive. But that is significantly more, so interesting to see what this one fetches. Yeah, another lovely 190 SL. On to another car from the Loch Lomond collection. This is obviously a Jaguar XK120 Roadster. This looks beautiful in this colour. Really lovely. Dark green with tan interior. So 1952, these had the 3.4 litre straight six. About 160 horsepower and good for 120 miles an hour, hence the name. This is a car that spent most of its life in New York, actually. Before coming to the UK in 2015, it actually had a $60,000 restoration, full body-off restoration between 1989 and 1994, obviously in the USA. And it looks in brilliant condition all over. The hood's perfect, interior looks lovely, paintwork is superb. And this is another one, as I said, that was purchased into the Loch Lomond collection. It's got a large history file from its time in UK as well. It has been sat effectively in this collection, so not really used, so worth noting it will require some recommissioning before going onto road use. And it's guided at 55 to 65,000 pounds. Over to this Jaguar 240 1968. This had an extensive restoration for £20,000 worth of work in 2016. Full body off restoration, repaint, engine and gearbox overhauls. Again, looks in lovely condition and will be a really interesting barometer of prices. I think this was purchased from an H&H. This is a manual gearbox and looks really good in there. Yeah, purchased from H&H in 2022 for over £30,000. So he's only done 100 miles in it. It's now guided at 24 to 26,000, so substantially less. Really interesting to see if that makes that and how those prices have changed. So we're going past the little bubble car. It's a Trojan cabine, similar to the Messerschmitts. Not featuring that, I'm afraid. But onto this lovely 1963 Fiat 500 S Cabriolet. Looks in fantastic condition. It was supplied to Switzerland in 1963, but actually came to the UK in 1964 and has been here ever since. The current owner has owned it for over 20 years, spent loads on it, full engine overhaul with a stage 1 conversion kit, better brakes, stainless steel exhaust, etc. It's obviously been really well cared for, this. Full bare metal respray 10 years ago as well. This is a lovely car. It's estimated at £20,000 to £25,000. It's only done about 13,000 since that full engine rebuild. Another lovely car here, TR4A, 1966. Another one that's had a full cosmetic and mechanical restoration, taking 7 years and costing about £11,000. That was, I think, a couple of decades ago, but it still looks in fantastic condition. It's been owned by the current owner since 1984 and clearly extremely well looked after. These are often looking fairly tatty, I would suggest, nowadays. This is one of the better ones I've seen in a long time, definitely. I can't really see anything particularly wrong with it, in fact. Guided at £18,000 to £22,000. You know, it's obviously an IRS model. The majority of 4As are, of course, but I'd suggest this is one of the best ones out there, certainly the better ones out there. So interesting to see if this sells for what is relatively high-end guide price. Onto a car I never quite get, to be honest with you, a 1996 MG RV8. So kind of based on the B platform. It looks lovely, Nightfire red, good interior here. This of course had the 3.9 litre V8, which only managed to achieve about 190 horsepower. Paintwork's not perfect, but overall it looks in really nice condition. These are, I think, had the R380 5-speed manual gearbox, which I just know from Land Rovers. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it is actually the same gearbox. This is a Japanese car imported to the UK. It's got some history and it's guided at £22,000 to £26,000. And then the MGB, its predecessor, so this is a 1980 LE, so a limited edition. These were the kind of run-out ones, I believe. And am I right in saying that all the Roadsters were in this bronze colour, and were the GTs in a kind of grey type colour? This one's a great example, and I love that interior. Less than 26,000 miles warranted from new, and a Formy trophy winner. Had a full respray, new hood, carpets, etc, etc, guided at £16,000 to £18,000. Another lovely car, 1959 Austin Healey. Paintwork isn't very good on the bonnet, as you can probably see. Pacific green looks lovely, this colour, and it's been owned since 2016 and had loads of work done on all kinds of stuff: fuel tanks, ignition systems, calipers, fuel pumps, etc, etc. The list goes on in that ownership, and used regularly, which is good to see. So this is a kind of well-loved, well-used car, not perfect, but in very good condition. Loads of invoices, clearly been kept running well, and guided at £30,000 to £35,000. I mean, if it wasn't for the paintwork, I think it would probably be worth quite a bit more than that. I think the paintwork will put people off, though, unfortunately. So yeah, whether or not it makes that, it's obviously a BN6, so 106. And over to a slightly earlier Healey, so 1954. This is a BN1. So 104, so this is the 2.6, only 90 horsepower, so for me just too underpowered. I know they're old. Spruce green paintwork looks excellent. This is another one from the Loch Lomond Collection, and it's had a previous restoration costing £77,000. Been in America until 2012, then came back to the UK and had that restoration. Now estimated at £40,000 to £50,000. So this is a 1934 Wolseley Hornet Eustace Watkins special. I know nothing about this, I'm afraid. Full restoration in 2002. Apparently it was just a box of bits and a rolling chassis. It's had £25,000 spent in that restoration, which doesn't actually sound that much because it looks great now. Estimated at £20,000 to £25,000. So a car I'm slightly more familiar with, MGTD, 1953. These were the 1250cc engine and a 4-speed manual. Again, a lovely, lovely looking car. Some really high quality cars here. And this is guided at £14,000 to £16,000. I'm not sure what the market for these is like, but that strikes me as fairly good value. Another MG, so this is 1938 TA Tickford drophead. But actually, I've just realised I've missed this Primrose E-Type and an XK behind it. I'm just going to do these first because I might run out of time otherwise. So another E-Type, 1973, V12, this one, from the Loch Lomond Collection. So these V12s, what did they have? 270 horsepower. Again, fantastic condition. Primrose yellow, as I mentioned, with a, I think this is special order dark blue leather interior. Looks superb, full comprehensive restoration. That was back in, I think, late 80s, 90s though. Equivalent value today was £55,000 restoration. This has won multiple shows through the 90s. In 2019, this was purchased into the Loch Lomond Collection for £125,000. These E-Types probably won't make that money now, and it's guided at £70,000 to £80,000. A huge amount of history here, 2 ring binder fulls with this car. So yet another one from the Loch Lomond Collection, a 1960 XK150S, so the 3.8 litre, 265 horsepower, really impressive. So Cotswold Blue, this paintwork is called, and again a dark blue leather interior this one has, and just another one in fantastic condition. This was found in Holland and purchased into the Loch Lomond Collection in 2016. The cost of that was £186,000. Apparently every part has been fully restored. It's now being estimated at £90,000 to £110,000. This is potentially one of the best XK150s out there. So I think some of these cars today are really interesting barometers of the prices. So guess what? Another one from the Loch Lomond Collection, and consequently another one that might need some recommissioning before being used. Absolutely love this design of Mercedes. It's a 1966 250 SE Coupe. Yeah, I think these two-door coupes of this era Mercedes look absolutely beautiful. 6 owners from new and only 51,000 miles. Look at this interior. Beautiful walnut dash. This is another one I'd love to have. It's guided at £35,000 to £40,000. Fairly rare to see these supplied as a UK right-hand drive car, in fact. Loads of invoices with it as well. Paintwork looks excellent. The design, such a beautiful car. Something totally different that I know very little about, another one from the Loch Lomond Collection and another interesting one, 1950 Healey Silverstone D-Type. So kind of a competitor, slightly less expensive than the XK120, 2.4 litre 4-cylinder engine, 4-speed manual, on twin SU carbs, giving about 100 horsepower, but obviously quite a light car. Beautiful dark green paintwork. Now this has been extensively restored, was bought into the Loch Lomond Collection in 2017 for £200,000. It's now guided a few years later at 120 to 140,000 miles. I mean, that's an incredible price drop. Will it even make anywhere near that? So what a cool car this is. 1929 Ford Model A WOODTAIL Speedster. So apparently this engine has been bored out to 3.5 litres, put on twin carbs, different cylinder head. Apparently sounds amazing. With bare hand-rolled aluminium panels here, and this timber-framed woodtail, kind of boat-styled woodtail. Very unique and special, this. Yeah, really interesting. And this is guided at £25,000 to £30,000. So here's a Rolls-Royce 20 horsepower Tourer, 1926 this. Apparently was partially restored back in the mid-1960s. I mean, it looks in fairly good condition. This was a 3.2 straight-six engine, 3-speed manual. updated to a 4-speed, I believe. I look at it, just beautiful. So much history with these cars. So I had further work done on it through the 80s, and it's guided at £30,000 to £35,000. This is a 4.25 litre Bentley, Park Ward Saloon, 1937. Full overhaul in the early 90s of all the kind of running gear, engine, clutches, cylinder heads, etc. Full bare metal respray. This claret is absolutely lovely, the paintwork. Interior looks great as well. I mean, look at that paintwork. Beautiful. Guided at £20,000 to £24,000. I think that seems like amazing value to me. Another Rolls-Royce 20 HP Tourer. This one looks in potentially better condition. Obviously the other one had a bare metal bonnet, as you could see. Looks in good condition, apparently lay dormant for the past 5 or 6 years. As I say, looks in pretty good nick on the face of it, but I've no idea about how it might or might not run. But it's only guided at £18,000 to £22,000. I don't know much about Rolls-Royce from this era, but I thought they'd command a lot more money than that. This is one of my favourite cars at the auction. Love it, absolutely beautiful. It's a Bentley R-Type Saloon, Le Mans style open-top tourer. It's just had everything done to it. This stripped bare metal chassis was blasted, restored with everything basically, full engine overhauls, all suspension, etc. I mean, look at this paintwork. It is such a beautiful car. In the flesh, it's really imposing. It just looks absolutely fantastic. I love it. 4.5 litre engine, 4-speed synchromesh gearbox actually. And just pretty much perfect condition. Given it's a 1953 car. In the Loch Lomond Collection, so may need some recommissioning, purchased into that collection for £190,000. Ah, look at this. I really want one of these. And it's now guided at £140,000 to £160,000. So you probably spotted this earlier, another Mercedes 220 SEB Coupe. This is 1966. Lovely colour. These were a straight 6 engine, of course. 4-speed manual. Thoroughly undersealed, I think it's fair to say. Owned since 2010 and has had tens of thousands spent on it since then. It's clearly very well maintained. Lovely example, 88,000 miles. Again, just a beautiful interior. Look at that blue piping on the leather. Really sets it off nicely. This one's guided at £25,000 to £30,000, which again seems pretty decent. Another lovely looking 220 SEB. Into a dingy corner, I'm afraid, for this 1959 Frog Eye Sprite, Austin Healey. Used to be white, it's now blue. Had an extensive restoration a couple of decades ago. Looks in pretty good condition, and it's guided at £14,000 to £16,000. I love these Bentley Azures. This is 1997, rapidly becoming one of my favourite cars actually. Based on the Continental R, 400 horsepower, V8 obviously, 6.75 V8, turboed. Pininfarina designed to turn the Continental R into this drop head. Looking beautiful. I personally wouldn't have it in white, but that's just me. And guided at £65,000 to £75,000. So now we're outside. I'm just showing you around. There are loads of cars out here, all the way down the edge of this building, into the marquees on both sides of me. Loads more cars to come. I'm going to put these in a separate video that'll be coming very soon. So please do subscribe and like. Many of the viewers who watch my videos aren't subscribed. If you do like it, please do subscribe. It really does help small channels like mine. Thank you very much for watching.